And this time, I won't leave unless I get in a relationship.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Priscilla.
I'm Amanda. Don't forget about me.
It's been a very long time. I don't know.
We were just discussing why she kind of left YouTube. There's a lot of reasons, but like, I think the main one was being in a, I don't want to say it was a toxic relationship. I want you to say it.
It was a toxic relationship.
But now he's gone. I'm free. So now she's here.
Yeah.
But you'll be hearing a lot on my channel. I think we're going to be doing a podcast. So I'm like advertising my channel on her channel. Oh yeah, we should actually say we're spending Christmas together. And if you want to see what we're doing for Christmas, go over to my channel. And you can see kind of like we're spending it in Vegas. So we're going to go to the Bellagio. We're going to go shopping and buy ourselves gifts since no man's going to buy us gifts. No, just kidding. We're happy.
Instead of spending money on people who don't deserve 1 second,
one penny,
we're gonna spend money on ourselves.
So basically, you can watch us just practice self-love.
I was going through like my Instagram DMs and my comments on YouTube and everything, and it's like, when are you coming back? Like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, 5 months ago. I'm like, very soon.
To be determined.
I think it's been like 8 months.
Wow.
8 or 9 months, yeah.
What do you think? Because it's weird. Sorry, like I feel like now this is
good.
like a podcast on my channel.
You're good.
What do you think stopped you from, because for a while you were doing so many videos and then you stopped and then you had the idea to come back and then you stopped?
It honestly was like the people in my life. Because when I was super consistent with YouTube, at the time, but I think I was in a relationship and then I was single and I was just like focused so much on what I was doing and like what I wanted to do. And every time I would, I guess, like get into a relationship or like meet new people, I would kind of let them
Dictate your life.
Yeah. Yes. And at work, I would always have people be like, "Oh, I watched your new video," and I was so I don't know why I was so embarrassed. I'm like,
no, I get that
talking
too.
to me about this, like, oh my god.
It's weird. So even like when Escaping Polygamy came out, when people would come up to me, people that I knew. So it was different when it was a stranger, like, oh, okay, you saw me on TV. But when it's someone you knew that was like, oh, I didn't know you were going through that, and it's like, it feels so, it's almost like they read a part of your diary.
It does feel like that, yeah, because that's the thing too, like when random people would be like, oh, are you like that girl from whatever, and they would want a picture, I'm like, yeah, you know, like it's fine. But when it's somebody that knows you, they're like, oh, I watched this, and like, and they just know. And for me, like with Escaping Polygamy, I just felt so weird, like seeing myself. So I watched the first episode that I was ever in, but I never watched the other one, like the update. I
think what it is because you and I went on there when we were like 18, really little kids, and then these people are watching it years later, like, I'm not that bitch anymore. But they're treating you as if you are. Like, obviously, I went through those things. I got married on the pilot. I'm divorced now.
Oh, yeah.
You have to, like, rehash it with them. And sometimes I feel like that's why when I meet new people, if I want them in my life, I kind of, like, tell them everything. Because they're going to figure it out eventually. So might as well be, like, they heard it from me first kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's hard to, like, I don't know. We kind of got off topic. But basically, the reason why she took a break from YouTube is, I think we all have this issue, not even just cult people, but like the people you surround yourself with you're going to gravitate towards the lifestyle. And if people are not promoting something that you're passionate about, like doing YouTube, then it's going to start feeling like you're not passionate about it.
Yeah. It wasn't that I wasn't passionate about it. Like, I knew that I wanted to do it, but it's like I let people's feelings, like I would feel embarrassed, and then I'm like, oh, this is embarrassing. Whereas before, I'm just like, no, like I do whatever I want. Like, I was confident in myself and what I was doing. And then when people that, like, whose opinions you matter to you, then you're just like you just, I don't know.
I feel that same way. I hate that I keep bringing up my ex-husband, but when I was married, I felt that, like, kind of cringe because he would make me feel that way a little bit. But it's also like, if you're just confident and you know, and you because I kept going. And then I did like get discouraged because of it, but then afterwards I realized like I'm proud of myself for continuing and being confident in it, because it can be something that people look up to, like, wow, she's making money off of that. She's like unafraid, unapologetic. The people that are praising you for it are the people that should be in your life, and the people that are making fun of you for it and talking down, those are the ones that shouldn't be in your life. You know what I mean?
Very
and
true.
I took a long time to figure, I still feel like sometimes I have people in my life that are almost like secret haters.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is turning into a therapy session, but I think because we came from the order and it's almost like the fear of unacceptance, we catch ourselves in relationships trying to please the person rather than what is more important is pleasing yourself, and then the people that are appreciative of that will be the ones that stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that honestly, like with my last relationship too, that was kind of what it was. Is like I wanted this person to accept me so badly. I was putting all of my focus and energy and time and like love and care into this person and just completely forgetting about myself. And then it's like,
and then there's nothing left for you.
Yeah, and I feel like they can feel that energy and like, oh well, she doesn't even care about herself. Why would I care about her?
That's literally the biggest thing I learned in 2022 was to respect myself. Like, I was like, why is there so many people that are taking advantage of me? Because I'm letting them. If you respect yourself and you have that relationship with yourself, you're not going to settle for someone who's not going to respect yourself.
Yeah.
But it's such a weird, like, I still have to, like, actively be like, no, you're not going to do that because that's not respecting yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I know that the last video on your channel was filmed together and we talked about what's to come. I don't even remember what you said.
I want to talk more about my story, kind of go into detail, because I feel like I've like told my story, but it's not, I don't know.
Well, it's like you told some of your story on my channel, but there's no way you could get your entire story in 1 hour. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's so much more. And I also think that your story, well, everyone's story is unique, but your story is so unique to the point where there's certain things that people could learn from your experience.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be awesome to be able to watch.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm supposed to talk about the time that I got engaged to my first cousin.
Oh my gosh, yeah. She said she was going to edit that video. Whatever happened to that?
So I looked at the footage and it's like, it just wasn't.
It was all over the place?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I'm very ADHD, so I'm sorry about that. But
I think it makes for interesting content. But yeah, if you guys don't remember, she was talking about how her cousin proposed to her in a hot air balloon. And you said yes because of other people, because you cared about other people.
No, okay. I literally, because we were at the top and like there's random strangers in there that paid hundreds of dollars for this experience, and then like imagine being them and like watching somebody get proposed to and they say no, like you would just sit there like, oh my god. Yeah,
so you're a people pleaser your whole life,
yes,
basically. Even
now. So if you think you want to talk to me and take advantage of me, just don't talk to me, okay?
Please,
I will let you take advantage of me.
So anyways, that's what's coming on her channel, talking about how she accidentally was engaged to her cousin. And then we're going to have a podcast episode coming out where we're going to be dissecting more, like, I really want to talk about relationship stuff because it's something we all struggle with. We all struggle with having those healthy relationships. And me and her have been through a lot of toxic shit, born and raised in it. And so we can literally, I can't tell you exactly what to do, but I can tell you what not to do.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that on the Culty Crew podcast. That's what I grabbed from the order, was like I didn't want a relationship like my parents. I want to write this down to talk about in the podcast, but I'll briefly mention it here. The crazy thing is, I was like, I will not end up in a relationship like my parents. And then I somehow ended up in a very similar relationship. I became, obviously not as crazy, like I wasn't trying to run over my husband with the car like my mom, like some people. We won't mention names, but I was in this mode of asking for permission, just like my mom did. And like doing those little things that I didn't know was toxic and like was basically giving my rights up. So, and I feel like I mean, I wasn't in your relationships, but I feel like as a person that came from the same shit, you probably ran to relationships that were familiar.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that honestly, because I'm going through a breakup, or I went through, how long? It's been like a while, but I'm still like recovering.
Oh, it takes a while, especially because you cared.
The main thing that I'm realizing is that it felt so, like I wanted this to work out so much because it reminded me of my family. Like him, the way that he was, like reminded me of that type of thing, and the way that his family was. I'm like, love me because my own family didn't, please. And it's yeah.
It was a similar situation for sure, and I almost feel like that's why you guys bonded so much, because you had a lot in common, because he understood the whole like family's approval thing.
Yeah.
What we came from, and obviously we don't have our family's approval, so we got over that a long time ago. Are you scared that he might watch this?
I don't care.
Oh. If he didn't listen to this stuff in the relationship, hopefully he learns now for the next relationship. Like, at the end of the day, I really feel like, this is my personal opinion on everything that I've learned in all the toxic relationships, if you feel like your family or your people that you're around should be the ones that decide who you spend the rest of your life with, just marry your family. Like, marry your friends. But your friends and your family are not going to be able to give you what a wife or a spouse is going to give you. So that's why I think it's stupid to take anyone else's advice on who you should be dating, unless it's like a therapist or someone who's like,
Yeah. And that's kind of what I told him when he was like, oh, like he needs his family's approval. And I was like, I hope that you find somebody that your cousins like, that your mom likes, that random strangers on the street like, and that you like. Yeah. Because you are eventually going to marry somebody for them. Like, I hope you also want that person.
Let me clarify. Sorry, I was like, you shouldn't be taking other people's advice. You can take people's advice, but just remember, those people are not in the relationship. They're not the ones that have to live with this person forever. You're the one that's going to know what's best for you. Everyone else is going to base it off of what they think is best for you. But you're the one living your damn life. Or are you living it if you're letting other people make those choices? Isn't it crazy too how it's like in the beginning you didn't even want him? And then it's like he put so much time and energy into getting you, and then when he had you, men are so weird to me. Like, men are, I really, really feel like women are more naturally in tune with their emotions, and men have a harder time with that, which I feel like is why a lot of the times I think men end up, I mean, not speaking for every single relationship, but I think women can really help men grow. Emotionally, at least. So, I mean, we end up being our partner's therapist a lot of the time. Yeah. Like, for how old he is and how much he like knew what he wanted and then he didn't, and then he knew and he didn't. Like, honestly, it's a blessing for you. It is, that it ended.
I feel like I spent so much time trying to be deserving of this relationship, and him, when like he never deserved me.
It's almost like it is like this. It devalues your worth if you start to believe you're not worth it. So you keep trying to prove that you're worth it. You need to just believe, I deserve this. I deserve to be treated well, and I'm only going to accept that at that line. Yeah. And I was talking about this in my divorce video, actually, and I keep needing to remind myself to do this because sometimes we forget. But I always think of this girl who I remember being like, why is she always with men who don't want her? It was like the men that would treat her bad, the men that would like, it was like she liked the chase, right? Yeah. And then there would be men that would like give her flowers and were like so good to her, and she'd be like, get the ick, like, ugh. And it was because she didn't think she deserved that. She didn't respect herself, so she went for men who were going to disrespect her. And I think it stems from maybe daddy issues or whatever, how you were treated as a child. But if you don't realize you're doing that, you're going to keep wondering why you're ending up with men who don't want you. But you're the reason why. It's because you're attracted to someone who disrespects you in the same way that you disrespect yourself. So you need to remember, and I keep thinking like, because I was talking to Cammy about this, and I was like, does this mean we need to date guys that we are not attracted to because they're so nice to us? We have to just get used to it? Or is it that, and she said a good point, she's like, we need to practice loving ourselves first. And then we will get so comfortable with that any man who wants us, they're going to have to love us on that same level.
Yeah.
Or they're going to leave because we're not going to be attracted to that.
Yeah.
But
because we really do accept what we think we deserve.
I am a firm believer in, like, if someone doesn't want you and they keep showing you that they don't want you, it's disrespectful to yourself to keep trying to prove to them that they should want you, you know? You need to be in a habit of moving on to only being attracted to the ones that are attracted to you.
Yeah.
But I had somewhere I was going to go with that. What did you just say right before that? Do you feel like you have only dated in your entire life people who have approached you?
Yes. Yeah.
Why is that? Every woman, ask yourself, and 90% of the viewers are women, every person you have gone in a relationship with, they came up and presented themselves to you. So we are making our options so slim by only taking the applications. And so I noticed that when I moved to Vegas. I was like, damn, every single person I was with was because they presented themselves to me. What about the ones that I'm attracted to? So I did. I went up to a dude and I was like, hey, I don't ever do this, but you're my type. You want to go on a date? And he was like, me? And I was like, yes, you. And he was really nice.
Wow.
And I encourage women to do that. I know that a lot of people are like, that's the man's job, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Like, if you see someone and that's your type, what if they're, like, gonna be the
love
one?
of your life.
And they're also attractive, you know? Instead of going through all the options that come to your DMs or whatever, like, why not go out and, I mean, I guess Tinder is kind of like that, but I don't like dating apps.
I've never been on a dating app.
I just don't like the idea of one day telling my kids that I met their dad on a dating app. I don't like that. But then again, I've met couples who have been together for like 10 years and they met on Hinge. And I'm like, maybe I should just not judge that.
Just do it. But you know what's funny though? All of these super attractive men or like conventionally attractive men like tried to go out with me and I'm like, no. Like I'm focusing on myself. Like I didn't want anything to do with it. But then a friend introduced me to this person, so I'm like, okay, I'll give them a chance. And it's like that type of thing where I'm like,
it's kind of funny. It's like you were getting all these applications, but when it's a referral,
I know,
you're more likely.
I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
It makes sense though, and it's also like you do feel more obligated. Like if I was like, hey, you should go on a date with my friend, then you'd probably be like, okay, well I'm a people pleaser, so I'm gonna do what Amanda said. How long was the relationship? Too long.
almost 2 years of time wasted. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, almost 2 years.
The good thing though to always remember is what did you learn? And I feel like I moved in when you were like kind of starting the relationship with him. You weren't like super serious yet, but I feel like world of a difference you then versus now. Like, in a good way. Like you're more bold, you're more like honest with yourself, you communicate better, I feel like.
Yeah.
Not because he was an amazing guy, but because you had to practice those things with him so much.
Yeah.
So you have to look at the bright side.
I feel like too he helped me like stand up to other people more. So it's like,
but not to him.
Yeah, I was scared.
Like, do it to them, but not
He's
me.
like, but yeah, no, I definitely like learned more how to stand up for myself, and
I definitely think communicating, you became...
Yeah, I got a lot better at communicating. I've been spending a lot of this year like trying to figure out why my life has like gone the way that it has, and like why I've allowed certain things and whatever else it is. And it's like, if I would have had somebody when I first left that like lived in the same state as me, and because I was kind of here all alone, and I feel like
you had to like fight the world on your own, and in Vegas, which is like a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah, I feel like I was just so like in my own little world that I just like always talk to somebody, like literally before you're gonna make any big decisions, talk to somebody that you know is going to be real with you, because I did have these experiences where I would tell somebody something like, oh, what do you think? And it was the same type of thing, like how I was always like people pleasing and like saying what people wanted to hear from me, or like I never wanted to make somebody upset with what I said. And I would talk to, like, I would get advice from people like that, and they would do the same thing to me. They would just try to like give me the advice that they thought I wanted to hear. Yeah. So I never gained anything from it.
I remember thinking those were the best kinds of friends, the ones that didn't want to hurt your feelings. Those ones are some of the worst, to be honest, because you are never going to progress if everyone around you is lying to make you happy, is like sugarcoating everything. Yeah. You don't need someone who's going to be like, yeah, you're ugly today, or you're a bitch. Honestly, that's the same level as someone who's sugarcoating, in my opinion. Like, because you're not going to listen to either one. Someone who has your best interest at heart and wants to see you succeed and cheers you on when you're succeeding, not getting jealous of you when you're surpassing, or not getting upset like if they feel like, or competing with you. You don't want a friend like that. You need someone who is you're able to be honest and vulnerable, not feel insecure, to talk to them about things and know that they're not going to judge you. Because even at the end of the day, like, I feel like when I talk with you, you're not a therapist or psychiatrist, but you're not going to be someone that's like, oh, well, why did you do that? You know? We've literally known each other since we were babies. Yeah. And we've been there through, like, all of the shit. So it's like, at this point, no matter what you do, there's nothing that I could judge. Yeah. And here's the thing is, like, we both made a lot of mistakes in our lives.
I'll be like, why did you do that? But then, like, you know what?
I would have done the same thing. Like, exactly. It's like, we're one to talk. Like, we both made a lot of mistakes. And that's the thing is, like, there are those friends that will be like, oh, no, it's fine, or whatever. Like, you're doing good, whatever. If you're happy, blah, blah, blah. But then there's the ones, like, I always think of Cammie, because a lot of the times what she would tell me was hard to hear when I was the type of person that just wanted to be sugar-coated. But her advice was stuff that stuck. And when I actually listened to it, I was like, okay, yeah, she was right. Like, you're not going to succeed taking the easy road. Yeah. You need to take the road that's hard, which is the one that's getting to know yourself and getting to know why what I'm doing today and what I'm wanting for my future aren't lining up. That's one thing that I was struggling with this year. Like, I'm like, I'm going to get here. And then I'm like doing shit over here. I'm like, what is this? Why am I doing this? But
it's like, you're doing all the side quests.
Yeah. Like, for what though?
Yeah, exactly. I know. I feel like this whole year kind of was not a waste, but it was more just me, like, just not focusing on my path. Like, I just wanted to be everything for everybody else, and it just didn't, you know, it's just not what life is about.
Exactly. And I think you're 25 now?
Yeah.
Your brain's fully developed. That's what it is. You're figuring it out. That's when I got divorced. Oh, he's 25. As I told Esco, he just had his birthday and he's 25, and I was like, be prepared for some heartbreak, some realization. Yeah. It's bittersweet though, because it's like, you can smile and be happy about the truth and finally understanding yourself, but then you're also sad because you have to, then you realize, okay, this was unhealthy, and now I have to let go of that lifestyle that I was so comfortable in. And so I'm still figuring it out though. Like, I feel like I'm still trying to figure out how to have like that healthy inner circle of people and to make sure that I'm following through to get up here and to not be messing around down here doing something completely opposite of what I want.
Yeah. I know. I go back and forth so much because I'm like I cut out all of the toxic people that were using me, or like that just spend all of their life like partying. And so I go through these phases of like, I'm like, I protected my peace too much. Like, I have nothing to do and nobody to go out with because I got rid of all the toxic people. And I'm like, maybe I should just let them in my life so that I could go out and party. But I'm like, I don't even want to go party. It just looks fun, like seeing everyone else do it. But I don't even like it. So why? Like, it's literally just, I think we as humans, when we're going through something, we just try to do whatever to like keep our minds off of it instead of like looking within and actually fixing ourselves.
That's what I was saying. Like, there's the easy road, right? Which we think is the easy road,
but
it's actually the hard road in the long run, because you're going to run into so many obstacles. You're going to run into a lot of bad relationships. You're going to wonder why your life keeps ending up in this area. But if you don't address the problem, which is you, then you're just going to continue the cycle. We all know someone like that is like, how come everything's always bad in my life? It's you. You're the common denominator. But the hard road, which in the long run is the more successful, better road, is the one where you are getting down to like peeling the onion that is you. Like figuring out who it is that you are, which is hard because that means you have to face the trauma that you've been through. You have to face the times where you messed up and you wronged people. But then that makes you a better person, and you will have better relationships. And you'll be able to see the people that were the toxic you and get rid of those ones because you're not that person anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess like that's a big thing that I was realizing too this year. Like I feel like this whole year was a lot of trial and error and trying to find myself too. Like this was a mental breakdown, okay? I didn't know who I was. This literally happened like a week ago.
Oh my goodness.
I think that's the problem. I keep thinking that, oh, I found myself. I'm done now. And then a year later, bam! Like I have to reinvent myself, but that's a good thing because it means you're still growing.
Yeah.
But it is so draining, like literally like emotional damage.
You know what's worse than having to go through these things yourself? Meeting people who are 10 years older than you. And being like, you've never done self-reflection in your life. And it's like, it's just so frustrating, like trying to be in a relationship or a friendship or anything with these types of people, because it's like you want to help them, but they just don't want that. Like they're like, I'm perfect the way that I am. Like I'm successful in this area or that area, but it's like, but you don't even know who you are and you don't even know what you want out of life.
It makes so much sense to what you were saying, like how you're like, oh, I protected my peace so much that I am alone now. Because here's the thing, you could have all those toxic people in your life, and what are you going to do? You're going to be where you were like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
My therapist said, and I told her this already, but I think it's something that's good to tell anyone that needs to hear, because when I heard it, I was like, that's so true. She was like, it's lonely at the top. The ones who are willing to take that hard path, there's not a lot of them. So you're going to have less friends and less people that you feel that emotional connection with, that you feel like you're reciprocating a good relationship with, because it's so much easier to stay down here and not grow. So you will notice that it is lonelier once you're progressing in your emotional growth and your mental health, because not a lot of people are willing to do that. So you should, like, it sucks because she just went through this breakup, and she keeps thinking of how much time it seemed like it was so consuming, and like having this hope in someone that they're going to progress with you. But at the end of the day, I'm really grateful that it didn't work out, because, I mean, unless he was able to grow with you. Yeah. But the fact that he wasn't willing to grow and see himself the way that you're able to self-reflect, it was never going to be healthy for you. Because it would have been you trying to progress and him holding you back because he can't come with you.
Yeah. But at the same time, too, it was like, I wasn't progressing in it because I was so focused on trying to help him, and like
exactly,
like
so he
I
was
was
holding
just
you back.
because it's like and I wasn't doing anything for myself, so I wasn't progressing. So I can't say like, oh, I was up here and he stayed down here. No, like I stayed down here. Like I went lower. I'm telling you right now. I was like nosedive. Pew. So
that's a
bad.
good point. It may have felt like progressive because you were investing in a relationship, but in reality it was something that was, I guess, not going to work out in the long run, and so you didn't invest any of that in yourself at all. These are a lot of good, okay, if you guys like this type of conversation, this is what our podcast episode is going to be about. Like, I'm making notes tonight on relationships, basically how to love yourself, and like, we're not the geniuses on it, but we have been through a lot. And we can tell you what we've learned this far. And I've been in and out of therapy since I was 18 too, so I like to share like what my therapist shares, because I know too a lot of people can't afford therapy. I'm lucky enough that I came from a cult, so it has to be free because I'm that fucked up.
They're like, you gotta fix these people before they ruin the world.
Exactly. So I'm happy to share what I've learned, and I think that we all have something to share. The saying, it's like there's a time to share what you've learned and there's a time to listen. And this is why I really wanted to do my podcast, because I wanted to be able to bounce ideas off of someone else, and then having you guys commenting. It's like, I feel like it's such a good community of growth. Mm-hmm. So I hope to see you guys in my podcast on Culty Crew, podcast on Spotify. And then, sorry, I'm like wrapping it up. But
no, you're good. Do you also put your podcast episodes on YouTube?
Mm-hmm. That's where you guys can comment. Because you can't comment on Spotify, and that's mainly why I wanted to do YouTube and Spotify, was so that you guys could tell me other things that you would like to hear and things that you think would be beneficial. Mm-hmm. So, and you never know too. There's sometimes where I have an hour-long podcast and I'm like, I feel like I rambled this area, I should have cut that out, and then people will comment like, I'm glad you said that. Okay. So you never know what people are going to pick up and learn from.
Yeah.
So. And I learned so much from the commenters. Like, I feel like I learned more from my Culty Crew than they do from me. Yeah. Which is crazy, because I talk so damn much.
I wanted to kind of do just another one with you to, like, break the ice and talk about where I've been, but I do want to go into more depth about, like, my story and everything that's happened in Vegas since.
Yeah. Because she's been out since she was 17 and moved to Vegas, and she's 25 now, so she's got a lot of life experience out here. And I've gotten people asking how she is in Vegas, so you get to have that in the future, which is great.
Yeah.
Anyways, hope you guys have happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Do your morning mantras. If you believe. Or happy Hanukkah. And then we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.